Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Mullner here. It's great to have you here with me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. We have your Eclipse weather outlook as well as the rest of your weather for this weekend into the next couple weeks. We're going to take a look at severe weather, how much cloud cover you could see during the eclipse, and which areas will be best to view this eclipse, especially the total eclipse. We're going to get into all the details along with a massive severe weather outbreak across parts of the South. We'll get into all your North American weather in this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Let's get into it. So here is the path of the total eclipse here in the red. This band right in here on Monday afternoon in particular, that's where we're going to see your best chance. And look at there. You can see cloud cover, especially just east of the band of red here, where we're going to see the total eclipse. Western New York, northwestern Pennsylvania, particularly extreme eastern, northeastern Ohio. That's where we're going to see the cloud cover, as well as southern Texas, south central Texas here. So watch out. There is some clouds with some sort of a storm system here. Now, if you're looking at total cloud thickness here on our short range ensemble models here, you can see the thickness as we get towards 50% in particular. That's where it's going to start to cover. It's going to be difficult to see the eclipse. So, some of these areas, but look at how much clear space there is as well. So as much as there is, some areas of bad, thicker cloud cover here, there's just as much, if not more, areas where we will see that clear sky. Now, taking a look at the European model here, percentage of precipitation. You can see with those clouds in western New York, northwestern Pennsylvania, extreme northeastern Ohio, you have a 15 to 25% chance, closer to 30% chance near Pittsburgh. Down here into parts of Texas, that's where you get up into the 50, 60, 70, and then just east of the path here of the total eclipse, you're getting up towards 80, 90%, so it's not looking very good. But look at here, the upper Mississippi River Valley, parts of much of the Ohio River Valley looking really good viewing here, and then back in towards the Midwest as well, exception the northern Midwest here. And then here we go, comparing with the European model. The HRRR is a bit more optimistic on the total path here, 20 to 30% chance of precipitation here across Texas Monday, and then up through parts of the Great Lakes, eastern Great Lakes here, only about a 10% chance. So much more of an optimistic view here following the HRRR, the NAM, that sort of thing, taking into account all of our mesoscale models for Monday. All right, so let's track along the path of this. There's that red band across northern New York, western New York. You can see here in western New York about 60 to 70% cloud cover. So that is a little bit concerning for the viewing of this eclipse. Northern New England here looks really wonderful. Almost 0% cloud cover Monday. All right, so for Ohio area, yeah, we're showing about a 70 to 80% cloud cover here from Cleveland eastward. It all depends on how quickly this morning showers can move out of the area, but there it is across eastern Ohio, parts of western Pennsylvania here. Illinois, Indiana area looks pretty good here for the most part, 25 to 35% clouds. Missouri, here's the path, southeastern Missouri, not looking too bad, around 25% cloud cover. And Arkansas as well, not too bad. Little Rock around 25% here. And North Texas, if you're north of Dallas, about 30%. But look at this, Waco southward, this is not good. We're looking at 70 to as much as 90% cloud cover here. And for South Texas here, not looking good at all for Monday's eclipse viewing. 93%, 96%, 94% from San Antonio down to Corpus Christi. Houston just looks abysmal. It is a severe weather and heavy rain day across Texas. For the rest of Saturday evening and Saturday night, we're looking at a slight risk here across the plains. That will be heading east for your Sunday. So if we take a look at severe weather for Sunday, look at this system spreading towards the mid-Mississippi River Valley. We're going to be watching for that system heading to the east. Thankfully, it won't be slight risk, only a marginal risk. As we head through Monday here, this is a big problem. I'm looking very concerned here from San Antonio, Austin, Dallas area, all the way over towards Abilene, Shreveport, even down towards Houston here. We're looking at a slight risk of severe weather. Tornadoes really could be kicking up, damaging wind, large hail. It's not looking like a very good day here as we head towards Monday. So this is Eclipse Day. I hate to say this, but it's not looking good here across Texas. And then showing up on day 4, this is really rare to have this show up. Look at this. The same areas, again, on Tuesday. This is looking very concerning for a potential for a tornado outbreak here into parts of Texas. And we're just going to continue this eastward here as this chugs very slowly as we get into the day on Wednesday, eastern Texas, all the way over towards Mississippi here, even maybe extreme western Alabama. Damaging wind, large hail, tornado potential. And look at this as we head towards Thursday. This continuing towards the east. This is so rare to have this kind of a threat outlined by the Severe Storms Prediction Center here. This is looking really bad here from the Panhandle of Florida all the way up to Georgia and South Carolina. All right, GFS, and we'll head into the Euro momentarily. Strong thunderstorms pushing across the plains. We also have this big old area of coastal low with an inverted trough and a circulation here in eastern New England, keeping cold rain, wet snowflakes mixed in. Just a raw weekend. You can see there into 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, that continuing. Our line of storms stretching to the east. The good news is by 8 a.m. Eclipse day here. Look at this. This is a very, very weak line of showers and embedded thunderstorms. You can see as we continue to stretch towards, let's just back this up a few frames. You can see, let's go to the afternoon hours here on Eclipse day. There it is, 2 p.m. You can see very inclement weather here across Texas and Louisiana. But look at this. This is very weak. We will have to watch for some cloud cover here, as I said before. But most of the moisture will be weakening at this point. And as we continue to stretch in time here, this surge of the showers and thunderstorm action organizes here across the Mississippi Valley and then heads up towards the Ohio River Valley as we head towards the 9th. So, yeah, this is going to be a series of low-pressure waves. We see by midweek here towards the 9th and the 10th, we're going to start to get into some severe weather. That's going to push up towards the northeast as we get a low-pressure system winding up here. And you can see there's going to be severe weather on the southern portion of this. The rain snow line's pushed all the way up here into eastern Canada. So snowfall is not going to be a thing here much of the east. You can see as we head towards the 11th into the 12th, we do start to see some snow on the backside of it here, particularly in southern eastern Ontario here. But you can see these isobars. The winds are going to be kicking up here as they usually do behind these departing systems. A squall line from New Brunswick, eastern New England, heading eastward here. And then as we head towards April 13th into the 14th, we do see some snow showers behind this low into the northeast. Our southerly flow kicks in as another high-pressure system builds in here. Looks like a big old Bermuda-style high here as we kick through the rest into next week. You can see towards the 15th into the 16th, another squall line moving through parts of the southeast here. You can see this low pressure winding up even further to the north. So we're going to see warmer air with this system. We're going to continue to watch for springtime really flourishing here, except for the northern edges here. Look at that rain snow line all the way up to Hudson Bay here into parts of Canada. And as we head through the 17th into the 18th, yeah, this system looks a little bit strange, but there will be some cold air on the backside of this. Could we see some wet snowflakes here into parts of the Ohio Valley, eastern Great Lakes? That's something we'll have to keep an eye on here as we go out in time. This system tracking a little bit further to the south, especially for this time of year. All right, so if we take a look at the European model here, you can see our coastal low moving out to sea as we get into Saturday night into Sunday. We're still going to be dealing with that very low-level remnant low as we stretch into Sunday, into early Monday before it completely pulls away. You can see the bend in the isobars here indicating that inverted trough. But there's our next system. Big storms across the midsection here. As we continue to go in time, most of Canada is built in here, socked in with high pressure. And as we head towards the rest of Sunday, towards 5 p.m., you can see that system moving eastward into the Ohio Valley, eastern Great Lakes. The good news is, for Eclipse Day, that high pressure is going to be really in control. But on the backside of this high, that's where we're going to see the clouds streaming eastward and northeastward out of a southerly flow out of the Gulf of Mexico. And that's just going to continue as we head through the rest of Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see much of Canada is dominated by high pressure. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but down and through parts of the Gulf Coast here as we head through April 10th, we're going to be looking at strong to severe thunderstorms. This is going to be a big problem as we continue throughout the week here. Lots of flooding and severe thunderstorms pushing across the southeast as we look towards April 10th here, you can see a severe weather outbreak likely across parts of the deep south. And look at this low. It starts to make a beeline up the Ohio River Valley because look what it's doing. It's being forced up and over this massive high. This looks like a big old Bermuda high out here, funneling moisture off from the south, the Gulf of Mexico, all the way up into the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. That low heads up into parts of Quebec here. As we head through April 13th and 14th, look at, there's going to be a squall line probably pushing into southeast Canada as well. Look at how that squall line just moves off the coast towards April 12th and the 13th. That system heads up into the Canadian Maritimes and high pressure builds in behind it. And then by mid-April here, right around the 15th, we have another storm, potential for severe weather and maybe some wraparound wet snow on the northwest side. But you can see another Bermuda high kicking in here. Looks more reminiscent of early summer. So as we take a look at our HRRR Future Radar here, moving away from the northeast into parts of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, we have that system that's retrograding down the coastline here as we head through Saturday night here. You can see that coastal low actually moving south. That's quite a rarity here. That's a retrograde. If I haven't seen one there, that is definitely a retrograde. Now, as you can see here across the plains, we're going to be looking at that strong to severe thunderstorms. Look at this band of very powerful thunderstorms moving towards the east and the northeast. That spreads towards the east on early Sunday morning, loses a lot of its punch, but still looking pretty strong here across parts of the northern Midwest. And then that fires up towards Indianapolis towards 5 p.m. Sunday. So we may be looking at some stronger, severe isolated severe cells here as we spread eastward on Sunday. It's not going to be a major outbreak, but as we get towards parts of the Ohio Valley into the northeast here, down into the Tennessee River Valley, some of these cells could be strong as we get into Sunday night and early Monday morning. That pushing into the Ohio Valley, there it is for Monday morning, Eclipse Day. You can see the band of showers. Hopefully most of this will wear off by the afternoon hours. This is our last frame at 8 a.m. Now, into parts of the Northeast, you can see as we head throughout the whole weekend, Cape Cod there in particular, we're just going to get pummeled here with this system as it moves down the coast, even into Sunday. That moisture belt continuing to be felt from Nova Scotia, parts of southern New Brunswick, down and through parts of southeastern Massachusetts. All right, so taking a look at surface-based CAPE here, as we continue to go in time the rest of the weekend, we're going to see that surge of CAPE, particularly as we get into Sunday. You can see the surging throughout the plains there into the green zones, getting up towards 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. And then as we head towards 5 p.m. here on Sunday, look at the Cape stretching all the way eastward here. Severe thunderstorm potential just increasing here as we go out in time. And then look at this. This is Monday morning. This is the day of the eclipse. Look at this Cape across southern and eastern Texas. We could get upwards of 2,500 to 3,000 there into parts of the yellow and orange zones approaching 4,000. So this is looking really bad. There it is on April 9th as well. We see a massive surge towards parts of Louisiana, the 10th and the 11th. And then look at that. As we stretch eastward here, we might have Cape all the way up to 4,000 as we head through parts of southern Mississippi and Alabama. That stretches eastward towards April 11th. We could be seeing quite a bit in the way of severe thunderstorms along the U.S. East Coast. All right, so for the GFS run here, you can see a liquid equivalent precipitation, especially through Texas, into parts of the southern plains for Eclipse Day. And then look at stretching up into the Ohio Valley as we head towards midweek to late week. Look at all that surge of moisture there. We're seeing anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches, especially into the purples here, and then 3 to as much as 5 inches of rain here from the Mississippi River Valley, stretching down towards the Gulf Coast and even to parts of Florida here. If we take a look at the European model here, there it is, Eclipse Day. Most areas looking rain-free, especially right in that path there, but especially just east. That's where we'll rack up the heavy rain as we head through Tuesday and Wednesday. Look at this. Yeah, European model going crazy with the rainfall totals here. Eastern part of Texas, all the way to the Mississippi River Valley here into the Ohio River Valley. We are looking at a solid 3 to as much as 6+ inches. Some areas in southern Arkansas, Louisiana could see up to 8 inches. That is not looking very good. All right, so snowfall here on the European model, a little bit here up towards New Brunswick, northern New England, as well as the Rocky Mountains here. But look at this. This week, the snow is pushing way up here into parts of Quebec, the central states and look it up here into parts of the Rockies and then Western Canada. So for our upper air pattern here with the European model, a ridge of high pressure building across eastern North America here. That's going to continue in time. Our next big storm towards the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, riding up through the Great Lakes and eventually the Northeast just in time for the weekend again. This is setting us up for a bad weather pattern because the weekends get awful and then the weekdays get very nice with more ridging. And the CFS, a medium-range climate forecast model for the rest of April, you can see, yeah, we're dealing with a little bit of troughiness through mid to late April here into the east, but that ridge building in, it's going to be a very fast-moving pattern. You see, we do start to break that down through the end of the month. We get a lot more storms coming out of eastern Canada, riding down through the eastern Great Lakes. And you can see the storminess out west here as well, continuing very fast-moving flow. But there it is, the first week of May. We are looking at a lot of ridging here, especially into eastern North America. So for Canada here, with the exception for southeastern Canada, we will see some snow pulling away later in the weekend, clipping parts of southeastern Newfoundland here. But our next coast here, waiting off the west coast of Canada, spreading some heavy snow, especially into the mountainous terrain there. Now watch how far to the north this rain snow line is pushed. Here is April 8th, Eclipse Day across parts of Canada. You can see as this band, it looks like mostly clear here through much of southeastern Canada. So that's some great news. High pressure building in. That rain snow line is going to be pushing pretty far to the north here towards Hudson Bay as we head through April 10th here, spreading some showers and maybe even some thunder showers towards the Canadian-U.S. border here. Another low pressure towards April 11th. That pushes all the way up towards Hudson Bay. You can see that surge of moisture. Now, on the back side of this, there could be some blizzard conditions here in eastern parts of Ontario as we head towards April 12th. Look at how active it is out here in the western part of Canada as well. And look at this. Yeah, this is going to be some big-time wraparound snow here across parts of western Quebec as we head towards April 12th. But look at all the rain here into the Canadian Maritimes. We're pushing some very warm air for this time of year, well up into eastern Canada. Look at the heavy snow out into parts of the western part of Canada. High-pressure buildup way up here into the desolate Arctic sections of Canada. Look at this. As we continue to go in time, April 13th here, there's a wide area of snow spreading into the Canadian plains here and then into parts of Quebec. Most areas seeing some wet snow all the way down towards just north of the St. Lawrence Valley. That kicks to the northeast. We see another system organizing here into parts of south central Canada. Maybe some blizzard conditions here in the eastern plains, and that's going to continue to head towards the northeast as we head towards April 15th. Look at that. Could be some big-time snows. Those are going to be pivoting towards eastern Ontario. So the eastern part of Ontario and Quebec, rain, and then look at western Ontario, heavy wet snow. Our next system out on the west coast of Canada towards the 16th spreads heavy snow, especially inland there. But you can see conditions are remaining pretty warm here across parts of eastern Canada. Look at this, though, towards April 18th. Could we actually see some heavy wet snow in the London area of southern Ontario? It is quite possible. You haven't seen too much snow this winter, but look at that. This system has the potential to produce some heavy wet snow from southern Ontario, Quebec, and on northeastward here towards April 19th. Snowfall forecast across Canada there. There it is, the west coast of Canada getting pummeled here as we head through midweek. Upwards of 30 to as much as 50 centimeters there in the mountainous terrain. Southeast Canada is looking a lot less snowier here. It's mainly northern Quebec and the north central part of the plains here where we could get upwards of 10 to as much as 25 centimeters. But look at this. Yeah, there is a little bit of snow here into parts of southeast Canada, but it's not looking like a lot. All right, for the tropics here, look what's going on here across the area. You can see those trade winds keeping those easterly showers moving in. We do have a tail end of a front here as we head into, although most of you are way away from this band for the eclipse, you're still going to see some showers here from Central America on the tail end of this front all the way up through parts of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And then as we continue through the 10th into the 11th, you can see there's a lot of moisture out here. You can see what's going on here. Tremendous amounts of moisture. Let's switch over to the composite reflectivity here. Lots of clouds and moisture. It will be light in nature here, though. So as we head through April 11th and then it's the 12th here, let's just continue out in time. You can see we do start to see some clearing. During the day, though, that's where we get the flare-up of showers and thunderstorms. We're kind of flaring these up early this time of year. As I said before, I am working on my hurricane outlook. It looks like it's going to be quite a blockbuster this year, so watch for that shortly. I should have that out in the next week or two, hopefully. And look at this as we continue towards April 17th into the 18th here. You can see showers continuing. Look at this. Looks like a tropical wave pretty early in the season down and through parts of the southern Caribbean. Still, though, we're having these fronts, bringing pretty far to the south this time of year, but you do have to watch the tail end of these frontal boundaries this time of year, as sometimes they can flare up something maybe subtropical. So we'll keep an eye on it here. This front approaching the northern Bahamas towards April 18th. All right, so when you take a look at the tropics here, you can see a liquid equivalent precipitation here as we go out here in time. Central America, parts of the Caribbean islands here through midweek. Nothing more than, say, 10 to 20 millimeters, though. Nothing more than a quarter to a half an inch. But then as we get towards the middle of the month, you see the moisture starting to ramp up here from Belize down to Nicaragua and Honduras, and then here on the island of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, where we could get anywhere from 30 to as much as 70 millimeters, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches likely. And then heading into the eastern Caribbean here in the Bahamas, you can see that stalled frontal boundary there across the northern Lesser Antilles. As we get through next weekend into the following week, we're going to have a moisture surge here across the Lesser Antilles. This is where we could get anywhere from 45 to 80 millimeters of rainfall on the order of about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And here across the Bahamas, we could be looking at about 4 to as much as 10 millimeters of rain. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment, but take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. All right, so taking a look at temperatures here, you can see what's going on. We got this big old boiling warmth here across the south, and that's going to continue throughout Monday here. You can see with the eclipse, you're going to be able to get out there and enjoy it, although there is going to be some severe weather down here in parts of the southern plains and stretching northeastward here. In the northeast, you're right around the upper 50s, near 60 degrees. And then as we continue into Tuesday, we're going to watch this warming trend really take over. Look at that, 70s all the way up into parts of Pennsylvania and parts of New York. Into Wednesday, we continue to really warm things up here. We're only stuck in the 40s here in northern New England and parts of the Rocky Mountains as we get into Thursday. This is looking really spring-like. Look at these 60s all the way up through the Midwest and parts of the Northeast. And as we get into Friday, look at this. Yeah, just a little bit of cool air with 50s here, but that's not bad for this time of year. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton, Scranton, Susquehanna, River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania for Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies. Looking good for the eclipse viewing on Monday. Pretty much not a cloud in the sky. Temperatures will be on the rise. From the 50s Sunday, 60s Monday, Tuesday will be in the low 70s. The nicest day yet into Wednesday. Chance of showers after 3 p.m. into Thursday. Heavy rain and wind, maybe up to a quarter to a half an inch of rain. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks, everyone. Share that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button.